There we go. All right, Chris, dude, so glad we're able to hop on this call.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
it's,
Looking forward
it's been a
to
lot
it.
of fun. I kind of like to start out by talking about the two different sides of our company. Overall, we are BidClips, which is a glass sales and lead management platform.
Okay.
But we also have another side of our company called Service Station. And this is actually where we started at about 9 years ago. Long story short, we had about three or four glass shops and we needed to find a better way to have our sales team answer calls for all the four glass shops because they were spread out across the state of Montana. So that being said, we started a little call center and started directing the calls from the four shops to our call center. It was just me and a couple buddies at home on our computers, answering calls and trying to slay windshields. And that kind of blew up a little bit and got bigger. And then we started answering calls for our buddies' glass shops. That
Okay.
took off, and all of a sudden now we answer calls for glass shops all over the country, and that's Service Station. Now, we ended up getting bought out by a software company that wanted to develop software for the home service industry, starting with glass. And
Okay.
that is how BidClips was born. So we started with the ISRs at the desk, call center, and then we built the software to help. Basically, if you wanted to run a glass shop remotely, you could through BidClips. So, or at least the sales side of it. So that's how we got started. So we have
So,
service station that oh good.
sorry, I was say a quick question on that. So, does the service station is still around? They're still answering calls for everything.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
are
Yep.
they a like only during the day, or are they an after hours service as well?
They're only during the day.
Okay.
They're more of a specialized call team. Like they're all US based and
Okay.
they're all trained in auto glass. So because we're so specialized in that way, we're not like at the scale of like 1,000 people in a warehouse. We're
Okay.
like more like 30 people at home on their computers answering calls and managing jobs.
So when they're
So
scheduling or taking calls, they're trained in auto glass though, especially with the BidClip system and being able to work all together.
exactly.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, and if you're already using another system like we'll say Main Street or Omega, my team after the sale has been closed, they'll actually put that job into your Main Street account or into your Omega account. So we're
Very cool.
trying to take off the burden of phone calls from especially some of these smaller operations with maybe two or three guys that their phone's ringing off the hook while they're doing installs. We want to if we can take that phone away from them. It sounds bad, but if we
No,
can
no.
if we can stop the phone from ringing and still they can get the sale, we feel like that's a win-win, you
I,
know?
I think I think a lot of guys who answer phones and install all day totally understand that. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yes.
So anyway, this call
Okay.
today or this demo is going to be mostly focused on bid clips. But in the future, if you did want to talk about Service Station, or you guys can check out our website, go servicestation.com, or reach out to me, or Chris can set some up. So there we
Absolutely.
go. All right. So bid clips. Actually, I should touch on this. Our tagline is better leads, stronger sales.
Okay.
Um, we believe that starting a lead out on the right foot is going to lead to a better sale in the end. So we are primarily a sales focused software. We're trying to make it easy for customers to buy glass from you, and we want to make it easy for you to close customers as well. So those are all most of our features are going to be around the sale, just so you know. We're not as much of an operations system. We're not going to do like technician tracking to see your fleet of guys where they're driving around, and things like that. Okay.
Got it.
I'm gonna blow past a couple of these because I already started there. This, don't worry about reading this. I just like to touch on our customer preference is kind of where we started with BidClips. We were recognizing when we started that a lot of customers wanted to wanted me to email and text their quotes out to them. Okay, because
Okay.
they want to share with their spouse. They wanted to review it later, and they wanted to compare us to the other windshield quotes they were getting. So when we created bid clips, we wanted it to be the best looking quote that they would receive and be the easiest quote they could book or the easiest quote they could accept. So
Okay.
all of our features are around ease and convenience from the customer's perspective. Okay.
Got it.
And blow past this. Okay, so I'm going to start with our first plan here. which is our web widget. This is our most popular plan in the auto glass space. Okay. It's a really good starting point, and it's a good way for a shop to kind of get their foot in the door. It's basically an inbound lead system. We give you a widget on your website that looks similar to this. I'll hop in and show you one in a second. With that widget, it's going to capture customers' details. Okay, it's going to capture year, make, and model, VIN number. We do a cookie cutter, or I'm sorry, cookie crumb type question process. So instead of being one long form asking 30 questions, we give them a few step questions that capture the information. The beautiful thing is we have customers uploading pictures, which, dude, when you have a picture is worth 1,000 words, like I'll say
Absolutely.
it before I say it again, like it's really helpful, especially when like even this picture here, which I'm looking at, like if there's picture damage around the frame, you could tell this in the pic as opposed to showing
Oh,
up
of
on
course.
site and then realizing, oh, I can't install this windshield because there's, body damage or whatever.
Oh
So
yeah.
we're saving you money on that. Anyway, the widget plan also gives you a storage option, so you can store all of your leads as well. Most inbound form systems, they just go to email a lot of times. And so rather than having a inbox filled with random leads, you can organize them in BidClips. You can tag them. You can see their statuses, so on. You can also text and email your customers based out of the system. I already said organize them. And then you can also create custom form journeys inside of the widget. So that means
Okay.
if you want to ask a customer a specific question, like, oh, um, I'm trying to think, oh, it'd be a good one. Like we have a question about taking a picture of the VIN number or typing the VIN number in. You can make those mandatory. You could even remove the VIN number question entirely if you don't even care about the VIN.
So it's just however you
So
want it. You can set whatever questions you wanted on there.
exactly.
And
And we work
this
with, okay.
yeah.
I was just going to say we work with you during the onboarding to, if you want to adjust some of the questions, we can do that with you.
Okay.
So, a matter of fact, let's actually hop in and I'm going to show you a couple widgets so you can see them.
All right.
Here's one on a glass shop page.
I'll
This
see
in the
there.
bottom right hand corner, can you see this here? It says powered by BidClips,
Yep. That's pretty cool. Yeah.
right? This is the widget. When a customer can either hover over this and select their service, or
Hmm.
they can expand and highlight through the services you have.
Now that's pretty neat because usually the widget is just click on it and you have the form pop up automatically.
Exactly. Or it's a chat bot, which is really just trying to get
Yeah.
your name and phone number.
Yeah.
We want to
Nobody's
take it a
ever
step
sitting there.
further. Yeah.
Yeah.
So here a customer can either start their service or they
Okay.
can actually type in a problem they're having. Like I have, I'll say if I typed in leaky windshield or cracked glass, this one may not have it turned on, but you can actually type in, oh, there, it pulled up. It'll point you towards the service based on the problem you're having.
Okay.
Or if you already know what you need, you can select a service.
Just
These
click
are
on it.
customizable. So if you have another service you want to offer, you can add it here. I have guys that do detailing, or this guy here, he does automotive tinting as well.
Okay.
So it's basically can capture any lead for nearly any service. I'll go
Awesome.
ahead and select windshield replacement here so we can see this. When I do, it's going to start asking the customer specific questions. This one actually has a video explaining to the customer how to upload the information. You can't hear it because it's not playing the audio through the headset, but
Yeah.
it's showing the customer, take a picture of the windshield, include the whole windshield, where to find the VIN, that kind of thing. And then
Very
from
cool.
there, it's going to load the picture or the video, and then the VIN number. This is really made to be easy to use on the cell phone because we find a lot of customers come in via phone leads.
Yeah.
I've seen people driving and uploading a picture of a crack on their windshield through the BidClips widget, which I
Yes.
would
I've seen
recommend, but
it.
right. Anyway, so this I want you to view as a portal. This window is a portal into your BidClips platform, which I'll go over next. But
Okay.
this is the website widget lead or widget form. You can add as many widgets as you want on as many websites as you want. So if a guy's got 10 websites and he's trying to funnel them all into all the leads in one place, he can make different widgets for each page. So
That's what I was asking next. So every lead that comes in from the widgets from the BidClips all goes into the storage. So they're all, like you said, they're all in one. Because yeah, mine just go. It's a form and it just goes to email, and I have to go through and search for it here and there, and find that one. Where this
yeah,
has a actual set space for all of them that you can just go click on it right there.
correct.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, without further ado, let's go ahead and look at that, see what that looks like.
Okay.
So this is the BidClips. We'll call it the dashboard.
Okay.
This is where you can view all of your leads in one place. If you're using it to make sales, you can also view your sales and quotes in one place. Okay.
Hmm.
Now, with just our straight up widget plan, you get this dashboard, but you're not going to be able to send interactive quotes, which I'll show you in a minute. You'll be able to text your customers out quotes. You just won't be able to use our specialized interactive quoting tool.
Okay.
So, but it'll look very similar to this. You can see all the different customers you have. You can see the service they requested, their address. You can see the date it came in. You can even assign it to one of your salesmen. So if
Oh,
you wanted to
nice.
assign it to a salesman and tell him to follow up with it, you totally could.
And it will just
Now I'm gonna
forward that lead to him directly.
exactly. He will have a login to BidClips. He can open it up and view the lead, message the customer. We actually allow you to have as many users as you want in BidClips. You don't have to pay for extra users, and you don't have to pay for extra storage. So if you have 1,000 leads or 2 leads in here, it's not gonna have any difference,
Both of those are very cool.
right?
Yes.
Now I just clicked on this lead, which we call a service request from LeBron James.
Yep.
This is a website widget lead. So this would have come in from the site. Here, I'll go ahead and make my mouse glow a little bit. Here's the contact information the customer submitted.
Okay.
If all these in the center area here, these are all questions the customer responded to.
Oh, cool.
So
Okay.
you can actually pick and choose which ones you want to see. So under vehicle information, if I want to find out the year, make, and model, it's right here. 2012 Ford Explorer 4-door.
Okay.
If I want to see the customer's address, I could select this one. We do integrate with Google Maps, and so we can calculate how far the customer is from your shop, and it can actually charge a mobile fee when you build the bid
Very
if you want,
cool.
or the quote. VIN number collection as well. Let's see, it looks like we have pictures. Yep, here's a picture of VIN number. Now here's the beauty of it too. If a customer just straight up text into your BidClips line, which we give you a free line for you to use,
Yeah.
when they text in, it pulls all the pictures and text into their account.
Okay.
So they're going to be able, if they text in a picture, it actually pulls it into the photo gallery here. So you can see picture of the windshield. And this is from the ad that we did the other day,
I
or
was gonna
not the
say I
ad, but
just saw
the
that the other
post.
day. That was cool.
Yeah. And this was an actual real lead that came in from one of our customers as
Wow.
well. And then of course, VIN number. This is just nice again to be able to qualify, like, do you even want to touch this job? If
Yeah.
if I see a huge rust spot here at the top of the windshield, probably not going to do it. I mean, unless do rust repairs, or I'm going to raise the price so we can do that repair.
This is exactly what I was thinking when you were talking about the pictures being able to come in, because yeah, you get to a job sometimes and it's smashed in, and my quote, if I had a smashed in windshield versus just a regular replacement, it's definitely going to be different. Some guys don't agree with that, but I
Yeah.
think there's a difference in that install, and knowing that ahead of time makes a big difference rather than showing up and finding out that it's broken down or something.
I'm glad you brought that up. I mean, think about how much more work it is for you on a completely shattered or in like done through windshield.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to do cleanup, vacuum. It's gonna take maybe an extra 30 minutes, an hour, depending on how bad it is,
Yeah.
and like that you should be compensated for that, because it's an
Absolutely.
extra hour of your time. Anyway,
Awesome.
I'll kind of scroll to the bottom here. Here's where we have our text messaging section. So
Okay.
here, if I want to send a message out to the customer, I could say, "Hi, LeBron. Good game last night. Um, your windshield price is $250.
Yeah.
Now, this is just a real simple text, like get the quote out quickly. This would be what you would get in our widget plan. Okay.
Okay.
From here, if LeBron opens the text, I'll be able to see it here. So here I can see LeBron hasn't seen it. And
Very
if
cool.
LeBron messages me back, it's going to pop up here at the bottom as well. So it's going to have a running
Like a
total of
running
all
chat
of our,
log on it.
exactly. Yep.
Awesome.
We also have an internal notes section. So if you want to take a note about this customer and say, LeBron was actually a jerk on the phone, raise price $10. I'm not saying do that, guys, by the way, for everyone
Yes,
watching
yes,
this.
I
Like
got you.
I did not believe it. But it is something to say, like, hey, the customer has an angry dog or like a mean dog. Be careful, like when you go out,
Yeah.
like things that you
Yeah,
want to take a
there's a
note of.
gate code at the house,
Yes.
anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can even tag your other team members at your company. So if I want to tag John Lasky, say, John, I need you to call this guy back and reschedule for tomorrow.
Okay.
Now, when I add that note, John is going to get a notification on his platform, and he'll be like, oh, I need to reschedule this guy. He's going to click on the notification. It's going to take him right to the job. He's going to know everything that has been communicated before and what's going on. So, and then now I'm going to kind of pivot if you're down. Or let me go back here, actually. We also have a tag system, so you can tag your leads. So if a lead
Okay.
comes in and you said, hey, the part was unavailable, I wasn't able to quote them, you can add that tag. And then you can filter your
Sell it on
homepage
there.
by the different tags. So
Yeah.
if you want to view all your hot leads, click hot lead, and here's all your hot leads.
Got
You
it.
know,
Okay.
you
So you
think.
can change that even if you have you know, someone messed up and forgot. So you could even just add some tags in there to, or whatever tag you needed to keep that customer, on your, I guess, at the front of your viewing right there to be
E-
like, hey, these guys
Exactly.
are priority, I guess.
Exactly. To prioritize a good lead.
Yeah.
Because we have so many conversations in a day that we don't always, by the end of the day, we don't remember, exactly maybe who we spoke with or whatever. You just know that you had a good conversation.
Yeah.
So to be able to filter and prioritize is a big deal.
Absolutely.
All right, so that's the basic gist that you get with the widget plan.
Okay.
Okay, that's our starting point. Now I'm going to pivot to our full service platform. Okay, which I'll go ahead and share this here now. This is our sales system. It's going to incorporate the entire widget plan, but we're going to add sales focused features. Okay.
Okay.
Those features are here. Payment collection's a big one. Customers that receive a bid or a quote from BidClips can accept and pay for their quotes any time of day or night. They can do it right there on their cell phone, automated, digitally, or they can do it in their email. With BidClips, if you send a quote out to a customer, it's going to automatically follow up with them.
That's a
For
big
auto
thing.
glass, it's a big one. Well, nobody does it. I didn't do it before
Oh,
BidClips. I didn't have time typically. I would
I
I
don't know.
would
You
give a
got everyone send their quotes out, and I mean,
yeah.
if they don't schedule, then move on to the next one. So the automatic follow up is, I think that's
Hmm.
big.
I think right now we have 3 follow-ups in the first 24 hours. So
Awesome.
to me that's a big one as well because that's when usually customers are making that decision.
Yeah.
Um,
They
and
look at some
you
other
can
glass companies, and then they're like, oh, they just checked back with me. Yeah, I might as well just go with them.
yeah, exactly. Because most likely the other companies are not doing that. Or if they are doing it, they're doing it on a basic text message. Whereas
Yes.
BidClips, which when I pull up here in a second, our quotes are pretty good looking. Not
Okay.
to toot our horn too much, but it's pretty good looking.
That's all right. Do it.
Anyway, some of the other features, it's online quoting. Now, this is not automated quoting. Like you're not going to put in a VIN number and have it spit out a price.
Okay.
It's basically when a customer puts their information in, you at the office can look at the information they submit and then fire off a quote in seconds. And that quote will appear in the same window of the widget that the customer started on.
Okay.
So the customer is starting their sale and closing their sale in the same place, basically.
So it's not like a safe light where you just put it in and then it just throws a price at you. it's your actual price that you're putting in there of what you're going to charge. It's not going to be different for the customer later.
Exactly. Nope, exactly. I already touched on the team messaging feature.
Yeah.
Quote builders, well, I'll show you here in a second. We do have quote templates. So if you have like an ADAS quote that you need to send to a customer and they want to know what's going to go into an ADAS recalibration, you can have a template pre-built. So all you have to do is 2 clicks and send the quote out, and it's done, rather than have to like type a whole, book and send
Yeah,
it,
so if they're just calling or just checking in for just a recalibration, they got their windshield done somewhere else, or the dealership did something and now they need to get a recalibration only, and they were checking on you for that, you just have that automatically in there, and that's something where most likely it's a set price anyways, so it just automatically shows up for them.
Yeah, you would just quickly click on it and click send.
Okay,
And you can have ADAS be part of a windshield sale as well. So it can be an add-on or it can be a standalone service as
awesome.
well. Yeah. Messaging hub, we kind of already touched on. Um, and that's actually, so I have a duplicate customer communications, but there you go.
Okay.
Well, on that note, guys, let's go ahead and I'm going to hop back into the platform and we're going to go through a quote, if that sounds good to you, Chris.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, now I've actually already created a quote here for LeBron James. I am gonna right now, I'm gonna add you, Chris, as a recipient.
Okay.
Do you ever have a customer reach out to you and say, "Hey, I gotta talk to my spouse," right?
All the time.
About this quote all the time, right? So how nice would it be if you could say, "Oh, you know what? Why don't I send a quick text of all the details you and I spoke about over to their cell phone so they can look at it themselves?" I'm like, yeah, great, sure. So then you
Okay.
can really quickly add a contact or recipient right here. So Chris, you're going to be the other person. What's a good cell phone number for you?
830
Okay,
388 3994.
perfect. I'll also email you out the quote so you can see it there in your email.
Yeah, Texas Glass Biz at
Is it
gmail.com.
TX? Sorry.
TEXAS
Okay. Texas Glass.
BIZ at Gmail.
Perfect. I could also take notes. I could say, this is the spouse. He makes the final call. So then if you're
That
following up
works
with
out.
them manually, you could be
Yeah.
like, oh, who's this? Who's this?
And so that note right there is just that's an internal note for you.
It's an
Okay.
internal note for you. Yep. Now that I've added you as a contact, you are going to have a profile in the system. So if you've been sent a quote, I can view, I'll go back to this one. I'll go to Gabe Howley here. Any quotes that Gabe Howley's been sent, let me go back to this LeBron, I'll go to LeBron James. If you sent multiple quotes out to a client, you can just look at their contact page and you'll pull open all the quotes they've been sent in the past.
Okay.
So anyway, okay, let's go back to this quote with LeBron. Now, as you can see, I've added you here, Chris, as a recipient. Now, here's the quote that I've already built. Okay, I'll go ahead and click on this. It's a 2012 Ford Explorer. Now, this is where I want to be really clear. We don't have a tie-in to NAGS pricing or databases for parts.
Okay.
So most of my customers now, they would either A, look up the part in Omega, B, look up right through their supplier, Pilkington, PGWs. They'll log right in their page, pull open the part, and then put it into BidClips here. Okay. BidClips can do a markup for you. So if your windshield cost is $75, BidClips can mark it up by whatever percentage you want.
Yeah.
Or you can just put in the price you want to charge the customer. So if you know in your head you want to charge them $500, you type 500 in here, it'll spit out 500 to the customer.
Okay.
Okay. With this quote here, I did put more of a comprehensive quote together. So I have the cost for the windshield, the adhesive, the molding. It's all customizable. You don't have to do a breakdown if you don't want to.
Okay. So you found
You
you
can also
can break it down as much as you want to for, whatever clips, moldings, glass,
exactly.
paper, everything. Okay.
Yep. And you can also have custom labor items as well. So for that example we had earlier about an extra cleanup, you can have an extra cleaning fee at $50, or let's say
Yeah.
$50 an hour for 1 hour. And then you can just add that as a line item. It's not at letting me add anything right now because I've already sent this quote, so I can't adjust it now that I've sent it. I'd have to cancel it first.
Okay.
We also, here's the location calculation area.
Oh,
Um, Here we can see like if the customer is 10 miles away from the shop, it would calculate that and then either charge a per mile fee, per minute fee, or you can just have no mobile fees.
got it.
This is the body of the message that you're going to see on your phone here in a second.
Okay.
So this is the template. So all this preloaded. You can actually embed videos and pictures into your quote. So customers can have an interactive view and yeah, it's pretty neat.
I like that.
We can also select add-ons. As a matter of fact, I'm going to throw in free wiper blades for $29. I'm going to throw it right into the quote. But then if you wanted to add something like ClearX or Rain X or Clear Choice, you can give that as an option for the customer to select.
Okay. And then so by you clicking the add-on, that's something that they can just click on the quote there and just click to add it on to the job and done.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep. And then you can also give the customer scheduling options. So
Okay.
I'm gonna give you option to schedule either at the office or the shop or at your location. Now, to be honest, Chris, most of my glass shops, they do not let the customers schedule themselves. Just because they have their schedule, it's a mess, whatever.
Yeah.
Um, and but with BidClips, especially for something as simple like as a in-shop rock chip repair, like who really cares if somebody schedules an in-shop rock chip repair? If you have somebody at the office all day that can do a chip,
Oh
like let
yeah.
them schedule themselves, right?
Yeah.
Um, but when you build a quote, if you wanted to, you can put lead times in. So if you know a windshield's 2 weeks out, I could type in 2 weeks, need to order. And then when it shows the customer the schedule, it will not let them book within a 2 week window. It'll only let
Okay.
them book after 2 weeks. So
Very cool.
anyway, yeah, it's kind of a little
Good.
extra feature that we thought would be more popular, but not to talk bad about ourselves, but just it hasn't been that popular. People are like, I
No,
don't really
no,
care.
I like that because there's a lot of times, you get a window and you're looking it up and it's just not available. So you have to schedule them out. And if you're sending a quote like that, they can automatically see that it's not available. Obviously, it's going to be, a week or a few days or however far out it is.
Exactly. And if we can save them having to call you back to navigate that schedule, like they think that's a win. If they could just do it on their phone and see that.
Absolutely.
Chris, do you collect any down payments before going on site?
No, I do not.
Okay. I'd say most glass shops don't. And for the ones watching me, correct me if I'm wrong, but we are seeing more and more start doing it,
Yeah.
especially with all the cancellations going on. Like when I sold windshields for our shops back in the day, I mean, I'd say maybe 5 to 10% would cancel or no show. Sometimes they'd no show, sometimes they call and let me know that they went with somebody else after they'd already accepted our quote. So with BidClips, we do give you the option to collect a down payment. Okay.
Okay.
The beauty of that is it can be a restocking fee that you don't refund, and it can just more qualify that customer and make sure they're a serious buyer.
Okay. So
Most of
you
the
can
times
you
the
can
shop
change that?
you can, yep,
Okay, I see that. You
it
can so you got a recurring customer and you can just click the no minimum payment because you know that they're one of your people. They're going to show up. But
exactly,
you got to order a dealer part, charge special order restocking fees, and that's just, covers your glass or something like that.
exactly, and
Okay,
it can be based on a percentage of the ticket or the just a flat rate.
very
So
cool.
if it's like $1,000 windshield, or maybe it's OEM glass you gotta get from the dealer, and you need to collect at least 50% down, you can just put 50% in.
Very
So,
cool.
and then at the bottom here, we have just the final invoice showing the different labor charges, part charges, all that. You'll have tax calculators as well. Now from here, I can actually reserve this job and collect a payment over the phone right now.
Okay,
But if you said to me, hey, Gabe, like, let me think about it, then I would just click on this and actually send the quote out to the customer. Okay, so I just clicked resend because I've already sent it to myself.
yeah,
But now that I clicked resend, you're going to also get a text and an email with a link to the quote. Okay. Now, while we're waiting for the text message to come to you, I'm going to show you what the email quote looks like because I sent it to myself earlier. So here's an example. It's going to say something like your windshield replacement request, blah, 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 has been received by Island Auto Glass. Oops. I'm open the wrong one. Sorry. Okay, your windshield replacement bid for service request, blah, 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 is ready. Now,
Okay.
this email is going to come from your email address. We create a custom one for BidClips for you. So this says Island Auto Glass uh, at bidclips.com. You would have one that says, Texas Auto Glass or whatever at bidclips.com
Okay.
emailed. And it would have your logo, your branding in here. We had our marketing team put this together. So we have all of our messages are very professional. From here, it says a bid from Island Auto Glass for your windshield is ready. We saved all your information here. Please click on the button below to review and accept your bid. Or you can give us a call and then your phone number would be here. So they could just call you if they wanted to.
Yeah.
But when I click view your bid, it's going to actually take me to the website. Now, this is taking me to a landing page. So this is a website, but this is just a placeholder for the widget.
Yeah.
If I was like if it was this customer, the quote would pop up right here on this web page.
Okay.
That
So
makes sense.
like when you went to when you click on that view, the quote would show up right there.
Exactly. So if I clicked view your bid and I
Yeah.
was from this OptiClear, it would pop up the bid right here on the OptiClear page.
Okay.
So again, it's more of like an online shopping experience where they're on your website for most of it. So
Yeah.
I will say like you typically need to have a decent website. And even if you don't, we'll make one for you just as a placeholder. So
Okay.
we can do that too.
Very cool.
Anyway, Chris, you want to check your cell phone and see if that quote came in yet?
Not yet.
Okay, it might take a second too because it's a duplicate as well. Actually, just to kind of speed things up, I'm just going to text it to you as well so you have it there. Okay. Bear with me a second. Sorry, I just lost my screen here.
It's all right.
It
Pulling up
is.
here.
I'll turn the recorder back on. Yep. So every time a quote's created, it's got a unique link that can be shared. It can be canceled, but it's unique to the job. So let's have you, if you can, open it on your phone,
Yeah.
and then I'll walk through on the desktop so everyone can
Oh,
see.
I got the text message now too.
Oh, good, good.
You want me to pull that one up or pull the link up?
That's the thing. It'll be the exact same, so it doesn't even matter.
Okay. Let's go ahead. Let's pull the text message up.
And what did you I was just gonna ask. So it says Island Auto Glass has completed a bid for your windshield replacement. Click here to view and accept. Now
Yeah.
they could just text you back and say, yeah, I want that. Like they can just text you right there in their
And it will
SMS
show up
texting.
in the chat log there that they're messaging back. Okay.
Exactly.
Click on it.
Okay, so I'm gonna share my screen so everyone can see what he's seeing. Now it's
Yep. So this is what
you
it pulls up when I click on it. So mine, it just goes automatically to that quote right there.
yep.
Okay. Yeah,
Which
to that section right there. Yep.
and you'll notice right away the customer can reserve right in the bottom right hand corner.
I see that.
They can also message in the bottom left. Let's have
Yeah.
you scroll down through the actual body of the message and you'll see this little video there. I just
I
took
saw
this
that. I see
video
the
off of YouTube.
video.
So yeah, so the customer can click on a video of you, the owner of the company, talking about your service. Like, hey, thanks for choosing, Texas Auto Glass. Like, we'd love to get you taken care of. We've been in the community for 30 years.
Yeah, I
That
see
kind
that.
of
I
thing.
see the add-ons here at the bottom too. The discounts, the customer details. And there's an
Let's have you
about your shop too.
right. Let's have you go up to the add-on section real quick.
Yeah.
You'll notice at the bottom of the add-on section that there's wiper blades are already included.
Oh, I see that. Yeah.
And so it's comped to the customer. But let's say you wanted to add the protective coating. Go ahead and
Okay.
click on Clear Choice, click Add to Service,
Add to service. Oh,
and
that's
you'll
easy. Automatically on there. It just
automatically
updates the
adds the
price
price
for
to
you
it.
right there.
Yep. They could even click the Learn More area and read more about what the service is going to include.
So you can click on it, but still gives you the description. It's like the what it is that you're adding on.
Exactly.
Very
And you
cool.
can create your own add-ons, Chris. So if you want to create an add-on for, total car detail, $500 or
Yeah.
whatever, they can just add that to the service if they wanted to. What, yeah.
Very cool.
And then we'll scroll down. There's a discount section. So you can see this quote I sent has a 5% discount.
Yeah.
There's the customer details area,
That
the
you can
about
make
our
sure your
shop.
number and everything's right too and all that. Yep.
Exactly. And then terms and conditions. This is a big one. This is basically saying that when you agree to this quote, you're agreeing to XYZ, and it kind of protects you from, any miscommunication.
Okay.
And this is all customizable. So you can link to your own terms and conditions if you want. So let's go ahead and have you click on reserve.
All right. Okay. So this gives me the option for the shop or my location.
Yep,
With a calendar right there. And I can choose whether I'm gonna wait or drop it off too.
correct. Yep.
Okay.
Go ahead and go to October because I saw it was in September. It starts off there. And go ahead and just pick a date and then pick a time. Now, this shop has 2 time slots available, 8 a.m. to 12, 12 to 5, right? Big windows, which is what most auto glass shops do.
Oh yeah.
You can create 8 time slots in a day, 8 1-hour time slots, or 4
Okay.
2-hour time slots. When a customer selects that time slot, it can disappear. So another customer can't select that exact same time slot.
So if
So
you got majority of your customers doing the, booking through your site there, then they can just fill up your schedule without you having to really book people in. And then you could just go back and look, hey, day's full. We got these 4 spots lined up. We got these 8 spots lined up. Okay.
exactly.
Very
And then
cool.
the customer can say if they want to drop off or if they want to wait.
Yeah. I like that. We'll choose my location for the 3rd.
Now, I clicked on the download PDF button so you can see what a PDF quote looks like.
Okay.
BidClips
This is like
automatically,
your
yeah, it's a pretty standard one.
got it.
It just
Okay. Okay.
selects everything and gives you a nice summary. There are a lot of customers, they want a printed off version, especially if it's a company, you
Yeah.
know, for their files. So we put that in here as well.
I was just gonna say this is like the paper copy version of it.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Then I'm going to go back to the quote if I can. There it is. And then click on payment. And then as you can see,
Yeah, you just
oh,
enter
BidClip.
everything in right there.
Yep.
And
Yep.
so with the payments here, okay. So I have an option I see for you can just pay the down payment or the to reserve or the total amount.
Yep.
Very cool. And then all your information. And then so when you put in your card information, is that just for the shop to run your card, or is that automatically being ran right there?
It's automatically being ran.
Okay. Okay.
Yep. We will be adding a saved card feature probably the next couple months so
Okay.
that if a customer wants to opt in to save their card on file, they can.
Oh, so if you say you do a lot of fleets and you're like, hey man, I'm just super backed up this week. My schedule's on the website. If you want to, just go ahead and just pick a time and go ahead and we'll just start scheduling you on there. You can just choose your time and we'll come out. So they can customer with the fleet account book their time frame, click on there, they have their card saved. So every time they go back in to book another job and have you come out, it's automatically there and billed every time.
Yes, I believe so. I haven't seen it actually enacted, so I've only
Okay.
ever wrapped my mind around the singular transaction. So
Okay.
like for this customer, if I chose to do the $19 down payment
Yeah.
and then you came out and did my windshield, then you as the glass shop could say like, okay, I finished it. And then you click final payment and it runs the card. So
For
they
the
don't have
rest
to
of the
pay
amount. Got it.
exactly.
Okay. And it's
So,
all
so you,
on the app there. Sorry to make you.
exactly.
Yeah.
No, you're right. You're nailing it.
Okay. Okay. That's very cool. Yeah. So it's not separate. You don't have to go back and be like, oh, I need your card again and run it again. It's just going back in. Okay, cool. Click the button and then boom, finishes running the card for the remainder of the amount.
Yep, exactly.
Very cool.
Once the customer books, it turns the quote into a job in BidClips. So
Okay.
then you can see a list of all the jobs that you've won. You can see if they've been scheduled or not. So here I can see this guy is scheduled, this one is not. I can see the total price. And then if I click on the job, it takes me to the invoice screen. So here I can see my parts and labor. I could send this over into QuickBooks Online if it had that. So I click sync and
Very
send that
cool.
over there. I could even tag it with a job tag. So you can have lead tags and job tags. Job tags are for obviously jobs. Um,
Yeah.
and then you could even assign it to a technician. Now, like this is about the extent of our operations goes. Like we close the sale, and then it's up to you to order the parts, and uh, send your technician out, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Basically up until the point of like, yeah, like you said, just need to order the part. It's already on the schedule. Everything's done. Basically just order your part and send it off to your technician of this is your time frame.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
So
And then also with the way is you'd be able to send the technician, like you were saying, you'd be able to send the job to the technician if his email was on there. So that way he could see I guess, see the job and then be able to like click on the address and, finish billing it out and everything out on site.
correct. Yep, he would
Okay.
be able to access basically all of this, which I know some shops they don't love because he sees costs and final price, so they
Yeah.
can, sometimes think about like, oh,
Got
well,
it.
anyway. Um, so yeah, but yeah, that's exactly what he can do. You
Okay.
know,
Okay.
he'll see basically the whole job.
Okay. Oh, I got that. I know some shops don't like that. And,
Yeah.
I mean, others, it really doesn't matter, like, but it's good to know that, you know, you can do either way. And then can you touch on the QuickBooks part of it? Because I think that's a big one for a lot of guys
Okay.
where they want something that is going to integrate with QuickBooks, especially
Okay.
for their, itemized invoicing and everything.
Gotcha. So from here, I would click on this job. Here's my job invoice screen. If I click sync, it's going to send this contact into BidClips, or I'm sorry, into QuickBooks. And I don't have a QuickBooks login right now to show you what that looks like, but it's going to take over contact information, invoice amount, and any transactions that have been made, I believe, as well. So
Okay.
if there's a payment history, it'll show that. Um, the one thing that sometimes has to be done is the breakout of the line items, because the QuickBooks doesn't always allow us to show the fragment labor versus parts. So
Okay.
even if it's separated here, when I go into QuickBooks, I still have to click quick copy and paste of like, hey, $89 of that is labor, 228 is parts. So
Okay.
that is
Okay.
one thing
So
you might
it'll
have to
it'll
do one.
it'll pull the job in there, and then you just have to just make sure that you have you have to break down the amount on there for the different parts if
Correct.
that's how you're
Correct.
doing it. Okay.
Yep, exactly.
Okay. Very
And
cool.
then the schedule, which I don't really have, we integrate with Google Calendar. So if a slot was accepted, it would just put it onto your Google Calendar. I honestly, guys, I don't advertise that much because our first iteration has just been like a little bit delayed. So we're doing an overhaul on our calendar. So I usually
Okay.
don't advertise that we have this amazing calendar system. It does work, and it does work decently well, but the integration to Google Calendar has been like a frustrating thing for me. So.
Okay. All right. Well, good to know that it's being overhauled, and pretty soon here it will be readily available.
Yes. Um, and then what else? We do give you a dashboard. So you can see your overall sales. You can see that
Oh,
your closing ratios, job percentages, how many windshields you're selling based on versus rock chips, that kind of thing. So,
very cool.
yeah.
Do like that.
And yeah, I know I'm missing one thing. Sorry, there's so many features that I have to like trying to remember like exactly what everything covers. We do have a task system as well, so you can check off all the tasks that you've completed, so you can
Got
make
it.
sure no one gets missed. Um,
I see
but
that's in the
yeah,
alerts. It's under the alerts, like the bell.
yeah, Exactly. Yep. And then you can also access your schedule here so you can see how many jobs you have, openings you have available on specific days,
Oh,
and
that's very
create
cool,
pass
actually.
out. Yeah. And then we break that down based on mobile jobs and in shop. So if you want to see like how many people you have coming in shop on the 30th and how many people you're going out to, you can see
Okay.
that there. So, and then finally, you can run multiple companies in BidClips. So if you had 3 locations,
Yeah.
and each one of those locations had a different schedule, whatever, you can run each one of them through the platform and you can manage them from one system, but it's still 3 separate shops with 3 separate
So,
pricings, everything.
okay, that's very cool because I know that there's some companies who they may have a few locations, but one of their locations is like the main place taking all the calls. They're the ones taking all the calls and booking and scheduling all the jobs, while there's other locations that guys are working out of physically,
Yep,
um, but they're taking all the jobs and the calls, and they could see, so they would be able to set up each location individually on here, all under one.
exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
very
Yep.
cool.
So,
Okay,
well, there you go, Chris. That's bid clips in a nutshell. A big
awesome.
nutshell, but
No, no, that was awesome. I think that's it's really good, especially for a lot of the smaller independent guys.
yeah,
And the features it has are really great.
yeah.
Um,
Real quick, I did want to touch on EDI. We do not have an EDI integration.
okay.
So that would be something that just to make sure everybody knows EDI and NAG's parts or NAG, yeah, are not in the system.
That's all
So
right. So I mean, with Safely SGC stuff, it's they have their, what is it, the fast track portal now,
yeah,
and so you could basically take your PDF copy of that invoice though and just copy that in if you wanted to. But most people are itemizing it on the fast track system.
yeah,
But just for that extra verification, you can always just take the PDF and do it in there.
yeah,
Um, I think a lot of people do like the EDI, but it's just an additional cost to shops too, having to pay that system to send in your insurance stuff as well.
yeah.
Um, no,
Yeah.
yeah, that's cool. That's a lot of features still, even for what it is.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, I love that we talked so much about like the sales features when in reality, like I have so many auto glass shops that they just love the leads. They love the fact that they can get a VIN number, picture of the windshield, customer's cell phone number right in through the website, and they can fire off a quick text with a quote, just like that. Like the sales process is quick,
Oh
and that's
yeah.
what
I
really
think
popular.
the way that you guys made it, being able to have the customer send in all that information with the pictures and everything, and then being able to respond so easily and quickly,
Yeah,
would convert a lot more of those people that are just shopping around
yeah,
into full jobs.
totally.
Yeah.
And we do have template for our text messages as well. So
Okay.
if you send like the same message every day to a customer, you can just click on that saved message or that template and it loads up the whole message.
Very
So
cool.
yeah. Anyway.
That's
Well, I know we're
awesome.
gonna leave some time for questions. Anything you want to know?
Um, So what is your pricing starting at for, you said, so that we went over two different packages, right? We went over the widgets and then the starter.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. And I know that there's can be more, and they can definitely reach out for you on that. But what are some base prices that people are looking at for everything?
So we have month to month plans
Okay.
as well as year paid upfront plans. If you pay for a year upfront, you get a massive discount. For the
Awesome.
widget plan, it ends up being about $300 a year. So
Okay.
this is my number one starting point when it comes to auto glass shops. It's our widget plan, which is basically everything you guys saw today except for the sales features. So the automated follow-ups won't be there, the interactive quote won't be there, and the schedule won't be there. Okay.
Okay.
But you'll still have the database to track your leads. You can still text the leads out manually, um, and still get the pictures and VIN numbers into the system.
So
That's
this was basically for the widget that shows up on your site, and customizing that widget customers sending in everything, being able to see all their information, responding and sending out the quotes, and then also the storage of all of these same leads into the same area.
Correct.
Okay,
You
that's a
also
lot.
get a you also get a text number and an
Okay,
email address as well. That's associated with your system.
that's
And that's going to be
your
local to your
business.
number.
Oh,
What's
really?
that? Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, very
Yeah.
cool.
So
So it's not a
it'll have
random number.
exactly. No, it's a brand new number that we actually create for you, and it has your area code. So people, they know that they're texting somebody local. So,
That's very cool. I think that makes a big difference. And then
I mean, yeah,
it does for sure. You get the random text a lot of times and you're like, who is this from? But well,
I know from like the 5-digit numbers, like the
oh yeah.
7842, like what?
Yes, yes. And I
You
think
know,
that's a lot of what some of the like the responses are, or you get a quote or you get an email or text message from like from a company, add your number, your email in there and it sends you the link and it's just like the 52225. And
Yep,
then okay, click on us.
exactly.
Awesome. Awesome.
Um, so that's 588 a year. Okay, that's
Okay.
paid up front for the year. If we broke that down per month, it's $49 is what that adds up to, or is what that broken down.
Okay.
Which if we can close one extra sale a month, or we can save you one trip across town on a bad lead,
Yeah.
like we'll pay for ourselves
Oh,
in one
absolutely.
job.
Yeah. One job pays for itself easily.
Yeah, yeah.
Very
So there
cool.
you go. And then for the full service plan, it gets closer to it's about 169 a month
Okay.
when you pay up front for a year. So, but that includes the payment collection and the follow-ups and all that. So I
Yeah,
can break that down in more detail and for those who want to know.
absolutely. No, that makes sense. That's you're getting you're getting multiple services into one. And even then still at that price of even around 170 a month, 169, you're still one job a month to cover that. And
Yeah,
oh yeah, and you have this great software and program that you're using.
I appreciate that. We want to make it something that people wanted to use. We want it to be good looking, easy interface. When we started, we had, pretty old systems that did the job, but they were just not quite as user friendly. So that's what we
Yeah.
really focused on. So
I think the colors, the way that it
good.
is shown to is very friendly. Blue, I know blue is a great color, especially for you know, I can't think of the word, colorblind people.
Oh yeah.
Blue is more of a color they can see.
Yeah.
Um, so but also it's more modern and it looks very clean and it doesn't look just like 30 years ago text style boop boop boop.
Yeah.
So it's very clean for the customer to see that and then especially the way that you guys send that off. It's a very clean system.
Good. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording then now. Yeah.
Yeah, actually if you want to just give
Oh.
them your information of how they can get
Ah,
a
yeah.
hold of you. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, if anyone wants to reach out, first of all, you can check us out on like Facebook, whatever. BidClips is the company. Website is bidclips.com. My name's Gabe Howley. My email is gabe.howley@bidclips.com. And I do demos like this all the time. And I also do a lot of customer success calls. So if you already have if you were a BidClips user, we could connect and talk about different ways to utilize the system, different ways to plug in Google Ads to the widget to try and get them more traffic to it and more leads through, as well as QR codes. When you start using BidClips, really the door opens to how you can capture leads and get them into your system. So I love talking about that kind of thing. So yeah, you can feel free to reach out. I'm also in the Autoglass Tech Talk under Gabe Howley, so you can message me there. So
Awesome. I'll go to make sure we put your information down below on here too. And
great.
thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.
Of course, Chris. Yeah, appreciate it.
All right. Well,